In the heart of Colombia's jungle, the rain never stops. It seeps through leaves, through skin, through souls. And somewhere between the roots and rot, a new empire was being born. Not from kings, but from chemists. They called them the cocaine whisperers. Before the world knew Pablo Escobar. Before Miami turned into a paradise of powder and death. There were the men who taught the jungle to speak. In white. They weren't drug lords. They weren't killers. They were scientists, dreamers, desperados. And what they created would outlive them all. It began in the early 1970s, in a Colombia no one cared to remember. A nation of silence and survival. While politicians stole from the poor and guerrillas fought ghosts in the mountains. A quiet revolution was taking shape under canvas tents and rusted tin roofs. A few university-trained chemists, men with degrees but no destiny, found work deep in the jungle, refining something ancient, something sacred. The leaf of the gods, la coca. For centuries, indigenous tribes chewed the coca leaf to ease hunger, to survive long treks through mountains and heat. But these men, they weren't after tradition. They were after transformation. They wanted to turn leaves into gold. In a corner of the Magdalena Valley, a man known only as El Professor found a formula. One that could strip the leaf of its soul and leave behind something pure, something powerful, something that could fit inside a suitcase and destroy a continent. They called it polvo blanco, white powder, cocaine. At first, no one understood its potential. A few kilos here, a few there, sold to foreign pilots, smuggled into Panama, brought to Miami's golden beaches. But within a year, demand exploded. America's nightclubs turned into altars. The disco lights were no longer shining. They were snorting. And the men who once hid in jungles were now feeding the veins of the Western world. They didn't have names like Escobar or Ochoa yet. They were shadows. The chemists, the pilots, the couriers. A hidden fraternity of ambition and survival. Their formula became legend. Their methods scripture. Their silence, holy. They called them los susurradores, the whisperers, because no one ever saw them. But everyone felt their work. They were men who disappeared into the trees, into rivers turned white with gasoline, into air that smelled like acetone and fear. The river became their accomplice. The jungle, their cover. Each kilo of white gold cost the land its soul. Trees died. Fish floated belly up. And yet the money, was too loud to ignore. Soon, everyone wanted in. Smugglers from Panama, pilots from Texas, dealers from Miami. A network of greed and opportunity stitched itself across the map. The laboratories grew. So did the violence. And deep inside, the chemists realized they had created something too big to contain. But it was too late to turn back. Those who tried to quit vanished. Those who stayed made fortunes. And enemies. And in that vacuum of silence, a new kind of man rose to power. A man who would no longer whisper, but roar. His name was Pablo Escobar. But before Escobar became the devil with a saint's smile, before he ruled Medellin like a modern Caesar, it was these forgotten chemists who first taught the world that the jungle could bleed gold. They never saw themselves as monsters, just men trying to survive. Men who made the unholy deal between science and sin. And from their hands, the empire of dust was born. They never wanted power, only escape. But the thing they created, the white whisper of the jungle.
They vanished into silence.